5 gamer. We all know. We know how it goes.
I mean, I do want to like set the stage for a potential Bro 4 gamer, but we're broing and brewing. This is the ultimate time.
Didn't the bros would deny their fans 5 games?
They are about maximum value. You pay the bro tax, you get your bro tax's worth of video games.
Yep.
And so what we want to see is a calculated loss out of the pros here for game number 4, and then move on to that game number 5. Who'd have first pick going over to DRX. They will be on the red side with that one. And so Poppy going to be taken away from Gideon, of course, one of his favorites. These bans have already changed. Rumble to be taken away, but the Jace and the Malphite still up and available.
Yeah, so we'll see. I think as well, the fact that we talked about earlier, some of the picks that are often being heavily banned in the first 3 have already been through, have been banned away by Fearless, you know, like the Ori, Azir trade, things like the Vi. So I think at this point, so much pressure on the red side to just take the brunt of the bans. We saw in the last game, you know, DRX picked red side and they had to ban Jace, Varus, Rumble, and now DRX are kind of just twisting the knife.
Yeah.
This time they did ban the Varus, but now they banned Zoe, so Jace and Rumble still, Jace still available.
And so is the Malphite.
And Malphite. So Jace and Malphite available, and Bro have to kind of decide, do we ban one, give them the other, or do we just trade them in this situation?
And the worst part is if you trade them, doesn't the Malphite just like play into the Jace extraordinarily effectively? In theory, if you do just engage every time?
Well, I mean, in theory, but we've seen Jace be a lot more successful than the Malphite.
Very true.
And also he does have more early pressure than Rock Boy.
Yep, Brock. Yep, Brock. Yep, Brock Willow. Brock. Yep. Brock?
It's been debated.
Brock! Hell yeah, okay. Malphite gonna be locked in. I mean, I'm excited about it. It is 0% win rate so far here in the LCK.
I mean,
but we'll just have to see whether Willow can make something of it.
So Malphite's obviously been nerfed on this patch. We haven't seen Malphite be super successful in the LCK yet. But obviously, it has been having success in scrims, no doubt, based on the fact that it's still being permanently banned. Ooh. And this is game 4. We've already seen a lot of the top tier junglers taken away by Fearless. You're going up against Sejuani. I think you're pretty okay with putting a lot of stock into it at this point. You're into Akali, Sejuani though, and that Akali is flexible, so difficult to match up into this. She was thinking, I don't want to deal with Akali. I'm going to fly up in the air and hope that by the time I come down again, she's already dead.
We'll see whether that's going to work out here. They could just lock in the Lovers duo here as well. I think Rakan is, with all the champions that have already been picked up, pretty powerful in this spot. And so they are just going to secure it.
Honestly, Rakan's stock has been really low this series. Like, he's been having a lot of success in the LCK.
Yeah.
There's been a good few angles where he's kind of been overlooked. That being said, I think Rakan can be great in a lot of spots. Sometimes Xayah Rakan as a duo can end up a bit weaker just because Xayah's short range can make it uncomfortable.
Ooh, this is kind of fun. Splitting the map here are the bros. And opting out of teamfights into a Xayah Malphite composition sounds like a pretty good idea to me.
Yeah, another big question for DRX is how are you going to match these side laners? Especially when a lot of the picks that maybe can handle side lanes comfortably, you know, have been taken away.
I guarantee. Do you know what I guarantee?
What you guarantee?
I guarantee that Yukal is going to play Ghost Syndra. And Wolf, we might even hear him from here. He'll be so upset about it.
Yeah.
I think that's all I can really think about in my brain right now. As Lucian going to be taken away, we're going to thin out the bottom lane pool here on the side of DRX. Understandable. Teddy still with a few champions that he does still like towards that bottom side, namely the Misfortune. I'd expect a ban onto that one because he does have a lot of mastery on that champion on the LCK stage. And Twisted Fate going to be taken away from Yukal here.
I think it makes sense. They're battling away like the global champions, especially with the fact that Ryze, Talia already gone.
Yep.
Really, like, we are playing the map wide, and we don't want you to interrupt that.
Well, let's see what the angle is going to be here as the last ban does come through. Hopefully, they've done their homework. I'm expecting that Misfortune ban to come through, but instead, the Lulu going to be taken away. I don't know whether Lulu really fits with this composition, but will be able to perform very well in the lane. And so wanting to deny that, but instead, I mean, it could just be Ashe Seraphine.
Ashe Seraphine honestly could make sense.
Oh, never mind, Ballista.
I'm not so sure about it into Malphite, if I'm being honest. But maybe you want to go Kalista Renata just to try and have a lot of presence in lane.
What about Rakan mid and then pick away the Renata? No?
We'll keep that one in the notebook.
Okay. Save that one for later. That is going to be the final pick here for the Bros. So whether they can make that one work. It doesn't necessarily farm that well in mid lane. Oftentimes when you have a 1-3-1 composition, which is what Bros comp kind of looks like, you do want to be able to have very reliable wave clear in mid. But there isn't a lot of that still remaining. So the Jack's going to be locked in here as Yukao is not thinking about the Syndra. Somewhere Wolf is like, I still don't like Victor, but I like it more than Syndra. At least that's what I'm expecting.
Yukao might just go for the Victor. I mean, in terms of teamfight power, DRX have it in spades. Not going for the Renata, but going for the Elise.
I think it's Renata. It's got to be Renata.
Yeah, I mean, you want the disengage. Okay, so strong 2v2 bot lane from Teddy and Namgung here. And then it's more about playing the map wide, because I think the 5v5 definitely DRX are favored.
Oh, yeah.
Can they execute on the back of this composition? Can you play around? You know, you have the Sejuani syncing up with the solo laners having the stack and passive.
And this is
like you need... Sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, the jungle matchup, this is something that was actually spoken about by Wadid and Umpty, I'm pretty sure, earlier on in the LCK Cup. And that is, if they pick Malphite, you just pick another tank. And then you get to mitigate it a little bit, because if you ever meet in the jungle, like, he's not going to be able to, like, do meaningful damage to you. And then once he's used all his buttons, he just kind of dies.
Yeah.
But anyway, I interrupted you like 3 times, so continue with your thought, Ox.
I was just going to say, you know, getting some early momentum and being able to just pull ahead, play through your side lanes, have the Kalista Renata lane be strong, definitely valuable. I honestly feel like you're hoping it's a weak soul. If it's a weak soul, you can just continue to play, you know, in the side lanes and not have to group up for fights. That being said, if you do get ahead, you know, this Akali can be a bit of a menace on the back line.
Yeah.
I just worry for the Kalista in the 5v5. You know, if you have Rakan, Malphite gunning you down, how much can you really do?
Yeah, I feel like there were some other options that Teddy could go for, but a lot of power here. Let's go to the Rift for game 4. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Onto the Rift for the 4th game of the series, hoping we can make it to the coveted 5-gamer. We'll see whether DRX can actually do that. One of the oldest Malphite skins there in the Glacial Malphite, I'm pretty sure. That's the name of that one. And DRX, I like this composition if Bro agree to teamfight. The problem is I think Casting is never going to teamfight. Him and the Maiden are just going to be hanging out in the side lane, ripping up these turrets. I do have to say, if Bro fall behind, I feel like this comp will just fall apart.
Yeah. I can honestly see a situation, though, where if they get ahead, they do just run over DRX.
Oh, yeah. It feels a bit all or nothing.
Yeah. This game feels like it could just go in that direction. Especially with things like Akali. This champion, just especially with Gunblade and how big of a spike it is, you've seen games where it's just been so obnoxious when it's gotten ahead.
Oh, yeah. Doran certainly welcoming us to that one. As Ju and Andal probably going to be very safe as this game goes on, but right now not going to be winning any lanes. And as we can see, Teddy and Namgung with full control. Only 1 minion being picked up so far by Ju, but we'll have that wave conga lining in.
I think that's a nice thing is that at least with the Xayah you have some threat and extended trades. So, you know, Teddy and Namgung just can't completely disregard your damage in the extended trades. Like 100% confident they can do whatever they want and they'll just win off the back of end. Like if you do let them stack up the feathers, they can trade in return. And also, you have the healing from the Rakan to help mitigate the...
Rich is going to have to flash.
Yeah. Not sure how that came about.
I think Rich took a lot of damage and then realized he was about to die and so flashed.
I think that's a good assessment.
That's a guess. But, you know, been here a while.
Yeah, I think Andal having the Gleaming Quill so he can just sustain up. Because a lot of harass helps a lot as well. So, not a lane you're going to win, but definitely a lane that you can survive.
Well, that's what they're trying to do right now. It isn't necessarily winning as far as the CS numbers are concerned. but that's not really what they were too worried about at this point in time. Not falling too far behind is going to be the aim of the game. As we've got a bunch of wards going down. Phaelites being lit up all over the place as Gideon. They know that he's here. Namgung is still just going to walk into this brush, standing on a ward, and they are actually very aggressively positioned. As Battle Dance is going to be there. Handshake comes down as Namgung's in a little bit of trouble. You mentioned the feathers. They were getting put down, so a little bit of danger there. Holding onto the summoner spells is pretty important as big electrocution out of Roma, finding a great trade here at level 4.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Willa's clear is, because that's something they did nerf, was the damage to monsters and his W, and his E damage as well, so...
Oh, there's a big Battle Dance engage as Namgung has to flash out of the way.
That's a good start.
Yeah, it already used the heal as well. So this is a big moment here in the lane for DRX.
Yeah, getting those sums of Namgung. I mean, the heal's already down, getting the flash there. That's what you're going to look for. Now he can't play nearly as aggressive if that's down. And Rich actually has a level advantage. Still down flash. Casting should catch up pretty quickly, but seen some fight back from DRX in this game.
Yeah, it's looking like they're still feeling invigorated. Still a fair bit of damage there as Teddy connecting a fair few buttons. DRX being able to answer here towards this bottom side is certainly a good sign. As not going to quite connect there. There's a lot of damage onto Andor as now the flash has to be employed from Jiu.
And just like that, they are back in an uncomfortable position.
Yep, there goes. Glad we had our big conversation about DRX's bottom lane doing okay because it didn't last very long.
Yeah, trying to find a window there. Bit of a misstep, bit of a... Especially from Jiu, trying to find the feathers, and they kind of just went all over the place. It's tricky as well in the Clist. If you're going aggressive, quite hard to set them up, because obviously she's jumping from side to side. So, Summoner's Burn and pressure awarded to Bro. And now, Teddy with the Berserk Greaves, even more of a problem.
Yeah. He's going to be hopping all over the place. Rich just fighting against ghouls right now, which is looking very frustrating.
Fighting his demons.
Yeah. And Roma, here in this mid lane, pretty comfortable, actually ahead in farm for a couple of moments until that wave is eaten. As Rich will have his back interrupted. Ghoulie Wall goes down and has to use a ward, actually, to get out of it. A little bit worrisome. Level 6 now gained for our solo lanes across the board. Oh dear, the giant cat lady joins the lane, and that should be plates going down. As, all right, that's a lot of damage out of Jiu here, as Namgung in a little bit of trouble. Willa just fighting against Gideon, only level 5 here for our junglers, as Teddy will get on top of the rock. He's gonna have to flash, does have to use it to get himself out of here. So DRX on the back foot once again.
That's the thing with the Malphite, you're just kind of uncomfortable and useless before level 6.
Yeah.
In certain matchups, like, you can trade well, you have a lot of burst damage, and the attack speed slow is quite nice. But Sejuani just really doesn't care. And the fact that she has her Q means she kind of always chooses a fight, right? If for whatever reason she doesn't want to opt into the fight, she can just dip. You can never do that, though. You know, she'll jump on you and then stack up the stun.
Yeah.
And you're either flashing or, you're getting locked up. So
another couple of camps, though, and Willa will be level 6, so that's something. First Drake, though, goes over to the bros.
Good spike to get. I think he's going for Zeke's first for the ultimate haste. Obviously, the nice cool burn when you pop your ultimate.
We've seen that a fair bit out of the couple of Malphites that we've seen. It's not a great sign, though, for DRX as far as the history of this champion, as Rich will be able to knock down the Ghoulie Wall, but casting otherwise very comfortable with how this one's going. Just creates a lot more things to hit for Rich in this lane. As level 6 has been gained here, so that Unstoppable Force is available for Willa. I'm a bit worried for this game number 5. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like the bros are in a really good spot.
So far, we'll see. We'll see. Definitely, bot lane's been going good.
Yep.
But I think first fight is where I'm really looking towards. If one happens, if Bro opt into one, first fight is kind of the signal.
Well, we'll see whether they even do, because we've mentioned that they do kind of want to play side lanes. It's going to be the best thing.
Bro and Brew? Really? Wow, surprising.
I know, it's weird that the bros would opt into not fighting. But that is likely where we are. But no, it does work out very well for them. Oh dear, the Wall of Cats gets the flash out of Rich. This Jack's counterpick is not quite working at this point in time.
He's going to get mangled.
Yeah. And this wave is going to get shoved in, so he has to cancel that back. And, oh, the sound of the cats getting hit by the turret is just not great. It really is kind of disturbing.
Do you think it's like, it's not just like the fact he's obviously having a bad time on lane, but just constantly hearing these meow noises?
Yeah, and he has to be the one that does it as well, otherwise the cats will get him. As Teddy bouncing around, they are looking to try and focus the Renata, but that means that Teddy is just having the greatest of times.
Yeah, it feels like they get a good trade on the Renata, and then Teddy just jumps forward like, okay, my turn.
Yeah.
That's like the consistent way this has been going, and I think it's starting to get to the point where Teddy will just kill you if you do that.
Well, let's see whether Willa can actually get this ultimate out and do something. Baylight does get set up once again by the bros, so I think not an angle at this point in time. Does complete the Zeeks as Willa on that back. So still looking for some sort of fight to break out. Oh god, just getting pummeled. I mean, casting
Flash double?
Yeah, I mean the thing is,
maybe?
Yeah, there is the Counter-Strike that he has to watch out for, but
yeah,
still so dangerous. Still, Willa is coming on over.
Probably not. But a lot of pressure afforded.
Yeah. Well, that is going to be Gideon locking down that grub. One apiece. There's now Namgung moving over. Roma, first one to get into the river here. As that is going to be Gideon securing grub number 2.
Gideon winning on grubs?
Oh man, this is so dangerous for DRX.
Yeah.
Well, we just have a gentleman's agreement. It's still 1,000 gold lead for the bros with how well these lanes have gone. But no first blood just yet. Zandil going to just dash away. Somehow, neither of them touched each other. Even a little bit. And Yukao completes the Rod of Ages. I think Rod of Ages is a great item for a game like this. Or a series like this, to be honest. As things are taking ages, just in general.
Yeah, really are.
It does bode well for a Xayah composition, in theory. I feel like she does do a lot of damage at 3 items and things like this.
Yeah, for sure. And it is a short-range composition, you know?
Yeah.
She will get a lot of value in the 5v5.
You say will. Maybe it's can. Oh, good PS there from Teddy. Does secure the cannon.
I'm just manifesting the 5-gamer.
Yeah, beautiful. I love to see what you're doing there. Well, DRX going to look for a little bit of a reset angle here. He should be able to find it, as once again, Willa walks into a lane and then goes back home. Rich, though, this time, I mean, the CS gap isn't as ludicrous as it could be. I think the Yorick, from what we've seen in lane, has had infinite control.
He has taken a lot of plates, though.
That is a very good point.
He's taken 3 already at 10 minutes.
I mean, you just wait until Rich gets his fishing rod towards the enemy turret. It's going to be great. As now Willa has discovered Gideon. Okay, there is the engage right on top of the Akali as Roma flashes out of the way. Hostile takeover needs to get flashed there by Willa as well. And the Arcane Storm goes down, but it's more defensively used than being able to find any kills. As Jiu now fighting against Teddy, but Namgung's making his way down. Feather Recall is going to be enough to get Teddy out of there. As Andal moving over. Gideon waiting for this Drake to spawn. The longest first blood that we've had has already been eclipsed. As Rich going in really doesn't want more of his plates to go down, but guess what, Rich? More plates are going to go down.
That's how we know we're watching a game of culture, right?
Oh, yeah.
Focus purely on the macro, not the just the bloodthirsty kill chasing.
This is not a barbarian's game.
Yeah.
This is a thinking man's game. As Andal is thinking about trying to dissuade Gideon from going in onto this dragon. There is no unstoppable force as Fate's Call is going to come out. There is the Chemtech dragon taken though, and Willa is likely to just die. Perfect execution there from Roma. Not going to debate the name of that one right there, as out goes Jiu, has to use the flash. And DRX, they lose out on the Drake, and they lose a kill, and the turret goes down in the top lane. It's a disaster.
Yeah, they're just falling apart.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things wrong with this entire passage of play. I think
Take us through some of it.
It all started with when they burned 2 of their best team fighting tools in the Malphite ult and the Rakan ult on the Akali.
Got it.
With no damage to speak of and no realistic way of killing this Akali.
Got it.
And the Akali also had TP.
Right.
So they committed just insane levels of resources to try and chunk Roma out. Roma just TP's back, and now you don't have your best tools. And then they still stick around. And Willa has Zeeks, which is an item based around your ult.
Yeah.
So then he wanders into the dragon with only Zeeks. Again, item-based around your ult. He doesn't have his ult. And he's just kind of there. Just an awkward rock standing there.
Yeah, it didn't really seem like he was able to do much of anything at all. Apart from die, which he did.
Yeah, correct. That is a good assessment of the situation.
Thank you.
You have 2 carries. You have a Jackson top lane as well. You kind of need them to be hitting people, really, to especially Akali this early on is a little bit too tanky, just to blow up. So I think she had make treads then, or at least had a null magic. So not ideal, not optimal. And now 2 dragons in pocket for Bro, and it's a mountain soul. So.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough soul to deal with, especially with a Sejuani on the table. Andal is just struggling to do much of anything at all, but now we're looking for a little bit of an ulti from Willa. See whether we actually get one, as the flash out from Nangung is going to be there. Yukao still at full health. Teddy down to the bailout already, and he's just dead. Rich in the backline looking for casting here, as it's a trade of 80 carries, but there's the unstoppable force from Willa to stop this Sejuani from getting away. And now Andal gets on in there once again, as now Roma! Oh dear, could this be the attack of the Broma, as once again, he's found a decent angle, but Yukao's still there with a fair bit of damage. And Roma's not going to quite be able to get it. So it's going to be a 1-team fight by DRX, evening out the scoreline.
This was better. This was better. You know, they had their tools in the fight, managed to connect on some good targets. Teddy did not get to play the game.
He did not.
That was a critical advantage in this one.
I'm still yet to see the value of the rock, though, because Teddy didn't get to play the game, and then Willa ulted to kill a Sejuani who got over the wall.
Yeah, well, there's the value.
I guess so.
So Teddy managed to dodge away, good flash to not get hit by the quickness, and then Teddy just gets jumped by the Jax and basically one-shot. Oh, we're getting more fighting.
I believe Andal is dead, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Teddy pulls out the sticks, and down goes the Rakan.
Buddy system. Buddy system is a powerful tool.
Yes.
Especially when you're playing Rakan.
We learned this in primary school, guys.
Yep, and then when you get caught, you just dash to them. Really effective way of not dying. So yeah, that's one to pick up here.
Ooh, Rich does get the nice double tap on the turret. Knock down some crystalline overgrowth. As Rift Herald being taken right now. Willa doesn't have his ulti for another 6 seconds. As Handshake is going to go wide 4. Ticking down, they do manage to take it. And so Willa now just looking to try and kill Teddy. There's the unstoppable force just to gap close.
Guys, it's not.
Yeah.
That's not how you use that.
No.
Wow.
Well.
But guys, Malphite has been banned a lot, okay? We haven't had many chances to play him. We're still learning what he does.
At this point, I'm kind of wishing he was still being banned.
Oh, his W got interrupted by Handshake. That's kind of sick from Nangun in the picture-in-picture.
Yeah.
That's how he died. But again, Buddy System would have saved him. Not much would have saved us from what we saw on our screen from the Malphite ult, but
I'm really hoping we don't get a replay. Thankfully, there wasn't much of a kill. So it was just Andal falling down. Okay, yeah. All right, Coach voice for the bros here. Just saying, great job. Now put Akali top lane, take Herald, play around Akali, okay? That is basically what they've said.
Good strategy. Akali is very strong right now with the upgraded Merc Treads and the Gunblade completed.
Yep, and just accelerated in general.
Yeah, this point of the game, because the thing is there's so much magic damage on DRX. Everyone is doing magic damage apart from Jiru. Why are you going AP Jax?
Well, I mean, why not? Finn did it. It must be good. Okay, in they go. Hostile takeover comes down as Roma gets into the backline. He's in the shroud. Jiu is just eviscerated. Nothing he can really do about it. And now into the backline goes Rich. There's the unstoppable force they were waiting for. And everyone melts at the hands of the Victor. Wow. It's going to be a full house here. Victor's full of Jaxes, and down will go the Drake. DRX, welcome back to the series. I see you took a bit of a timeout. I'm glad you decided that you wanted to play the game.
Now we see the Malphite value. There we go. That's what you do. You just
look at the pro fans. They're like, yeah. Wait, that's what Malphite does?
There we go.
I thought that ability was a gap closer.
It's that simple. You just hit everyone with your ultimate. And you know what? If you're going to do that, I don't think anything else really matters. Jiru gets eliminated immediately. And Rich is waiting over the wall. Oh, 4-man Malphite ult.
God.
Counter-strike. The Arcane Storm. And then obviously the Arcane Storm,
Oh, Andal, that was beautifully
not
played as well.
It's not upgraded yet, so it doesn't do the thing where it becomes mega, unfortunately, but it does enough. Yeah, it is. I'm still, look.
Okay.
Yeah, I get Dusk and Dawn really cool with Jax, but you are so heavy AP now with your composition by going AP Jax here. Your only AD champion is...
Yeah, they're making sure that they don't build any armor so that Gio can do so much damage to all of them.
Okay.
That's what they're doing. You remember like the old Karthus strategy? Make sure that there's no other AP on the team so that the Karthus does as much damage as possible.
Okay, but when Akali kills your Xayah at the start of the fight like last time and has to
No. That may not necessarily happen.
Okay.
Although it's likely to happen.
Okay.
And has been happening.
Yes.
But if it doesn't happen...
It was a good fight. Look, it was a good fight. It was a good fight. Just do that again. And for bros, don't stack up like that.
Yeah. Well, Glacial Prison goes down. It's going to connect onto Andal, who battle dances out of the way.
Guys, remember, you can play side lanes. That is a feature of your composition.
The bros agreed that they are going to fight. And fight is what they will do. As the Rift Herald goes down to this mid lane, let's see whether that is going to be able to get a charge, and it certainly will. So Shelly gets a little bit of value, and Gio will be able to secure the 25 gold. There it is. Nicely done. Now, gold advantages on DRX all over the place here. And if DRX gets to a Mountain Soul, it's game over. That's just GG, I think. I don't think Roma is able to get through that. Especially when it's a Jax, you know, and oh my goodness. That'll be pretty absurd. Speaking of Jax, Rich going in here, teleports to come forward across the board here as the Maiden trying to get involved, and Rich is just a monster. Maybe this is why you play the AP Jax. Yukal comes down, and Roma, I don't think he's going in onto that one as the Maiden survives. Oh, no it doesn't. 50 gold over to Yukal.
I mean, it's doing very good in the 1v1, I'll give him that.
Yeah, I reckon there's something to be said for the power of this particular Jax build. Very magic damage heavy, though. You're exactly right.
Concerns there, but you know, it just puts a lot of weight on Jiwoo's shoulders. And he is at least playing Xayah, so you have safety tools.
Yeah, he can bounce into the sky.
Rabadon's completed for Yukal.
He is a real fan of second item Rabadons.
He is a big fan of Rod of Ages Rabadons, it seems.
Well, I think on the Victor, I like it even more. You do like having a whole bunch of AP. And Jiwoo now just parking himself in this mid lane once again. 3-0-4 though. This is the dangerous thing, is that Yukal, he is now very accelerated and also has a decent CS advantage as well. He's now parked in the top lane. And DRX really have turned this game around.
And the 5v5s are just not going to get better because Yukal's going to get his upgraded Chaos Storm. I mean, I assume he might have it already. And then if you get kills, the ult becomes mega.
Yeah.
And he's 2 levels up on Roma. I know one of them is from the Rod of Ages, but still, he is very far ahead in that regard.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. I was expecting a 1-level advantage, but this is a little bit more than that, as Jiwoo pulls back some feathers, but is otherwise not able to find too much. And this is the dangerous part, right? If you start losing in side lanes as this pro composition, then what does your comp even do? As Gideon, not going to get hit by the Grand Entrance, as he does go back in. Willer over here, though, 2 items complete. And DRX just probably waiting for this Drake to spawn. Look to lock that one down as Glacial Prison does go a little bit wide. Everyone has the keys to the doors at this point. And yeah, Rich is a menace. These 2 items that he's complete really has put him over the edge, because you can see that wave shoved under the inner turret. There is just no way that Carson can really fight back, as the Rock has discovered the Akali. Roma will be able to get himself out of there.
I mean, the thing with the Jax is you have crazy AP ratios, and with the Dusk and Dawn, you proc your ult passive so quickly.
Yeah, it's just kind of absurd. And it's working very well. So we'll see what else he's going to be putting together here. But right now, it is a very frightening selection. And Teddy clears out the wave. Roma has a Shadow Flame now, so second item is now complete. But the second item is a little bit less good than Yukal's one, who does have a very dangerous hat. Blighted Jewel also there as well, building towards his first bit of armor penetration. It's exactly the same build as what he put together on his Ahri. And last time, like the first game, he copied the Rise build. Interesting. I don't know what it means, but it's interesting. Gideon Now on a ward. Rich has moved over. He's already started off this dragon, taking matters into his own hands. Let's see whether the bros can actually find themselves a team fight. It's not what this composition is built for, but it's what it's going to have to do to deny this dragon from going down. Namgoong flash handshake does come on in. The glacial prison goes down as well. Hostile takeover is decent. Andil down already as Rich getting taken out by Roma in this backline. DRX are getting out team fight by this composition somehow, and the Drake is secured by the bros. The unstoppable force right on top of Teddy, but he keeps himself alive as Namgoong is going to be able to pick up Gio, and this time at least Gio has survived, but I don't know whether it's actually going to win it out as the Featherstorm goes up, but he doesn't have the other option. Teddy's taken down. Oh my god, he lasts for such a long time, but it's the bros in the end that reign supreme.
Finding exactly the fight they need. The flank angle so good, and you could see DRX uncomfortable, not seeing the opportunity to find a good engage. The Malphite ult held for so long because there wasn't a tight area for them just to fire on. The last fight that they won was everyone was clumped together. It was easy, it was obvious, but here everyone was split off to the side. And Roma was such a threat.
Yeah.
On the back angle, decimated Rich on the back line.
These are getting look. I don't know whether Andil is going to be able to do enough.
He's a Rakan.
Yeah, he wants.
Although Rich is not a Rakan.
He is not, and he is looking to make his way in. That is going to be the first kill on Namgoong. Now a teleport forward. Roma is in a lot of trouble. Leap Strike is there, and I think Roma should be going down if, yeah, Yukal finds the Death Ray. So 2 are dead in exchange for the Baron. I don't know whether it's necessarily, if they take the Maiden, it's definitely worth, but the Maiden survives with 100 health.
You know, we've obviously talked about Baron being worth less, but I do think the Baron buff has a lot of value on the bro composition in general. You also get catch-up XP. We'll talk about this fight first. So the problem is, it ends up being super split. Roma just finds Rich and just absolutely decimates him, in all honesty. The R2 doesn't connect though, that would have probably just killed him. But he still ends up super low and gets cleaned up by casting on the back end. They do finally engage here onto the bot lane of Bro, but there's just no real opportunity to follow up when Teddy flashes out. Okay, we're just fighting.
Yeah, we are. Bros are going to back up their jungler as Gideon is very difficult to kill. Willa not looking quite so much as he does ult his way out of there.
Yeah, so I was like Baron power play. Doesn't give us much gold, especially because people died, but let's talk about what you can get, because you can play Sentinel, we're fighting.
Yep.
They're down a lot of gold on the Baron power play.
Well, I mean, it's going to be less as they take out this outer turret. Rich with a counter-strike there, but casting not too worried about it. Yukal makes his way back. These minions, even with the Baron empowerment, are still going to melt to the hands of this Victor.
Yeah. Carly doesn't have it, but if you get casting in the silent, you should be able to pick up that bot top pretty easily, get some extra gold in the pockets. Got to bear in mind as well, it's 3 dragons to Bro.
That's what I was just thinking. I think this soul point is going to be such a big deal, because a 1-3-1 composition needs to have dragon control. Otherwise, it just doesn't work.
I mean,
and so they have it.
If you get the next dragon, you get that mountain soul, you know, you start stacking up some MR, you can become really hard to deal with.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that Teddy is going to start building more defensive items at this point in time, and so he is not going to be necessarily one-shottable as this game goes on.
With send value, it would be pretty big.
Yep. So let's see whether the bros can hold on and then find themselves some team fights to close out this series with the very unexpected 2-1 scoreline. Gideon moving on over here as Roma does find the Shuriken backflip onto Willa. Yukal is there though. Pretty scary is this Victor. 1.5 minutes on this Dragon. Andil going in.
I mean, Yukal, level 16, Roa, Rabadon's Void Staff.
Oh my god. Yeah,
can't really ask for more, to be honest, at this point in the game. He is strong right now and pretty scary.
Pretty good item spike. And Roma is still looking for his magic penetration item of choice. Should be getting that one relatively soon. Alongside the Shadow Flame, he will be still executing the bad guys. Rich wants his Zhonya's. Seems to be what he's going for, the items that he's put together now.
Yeah, I think one thing with the Baron, though, is you do get, because they were down quite a bit in levels, and you get comeback XP from it now. So I'm not sure if that came into play, but they definitely have caught up a decent amount across the board.
Ooh, one thing is, the 3-item spikes have come in for the 80 carries. I feel like Gears are better. What do you reckon?
Jiwaz is pretty good. Doesn't have any pen yet, though, but there's not a ton of armor on the other side.
That is being demonstrated by Gideon being the guy with the armor.
Yeah.
All right, once again, Bro, it needs to be a pincer, right? Because otherwise, you just get ulted and die. They learned about this earlier on. They played really well in the last fight. As now Rich going in, looking for casting. Andil doesn't quite find the angle, though. As now Will is the one that's in trouble. He just gets chain CC'd, and once again has to ult away. As hostile takeover is going to clip onto Jiu, who almost just kills Willer as a result.
That's
and
enough.
That should be Soul.
Yeah, that's enough with Willer that low, no ult. Does have the flash, but it's so hard to get back in again.
I'm pretty sure that DRX knows that they have to fight for this because Mountain Soul is so difficult to deal with. Let's see whether they can actually get in. There's the quickness from Andil. He does try and get rid of Gideon, and into the backline goes Rich, looking for Teddy, but the bailout is running. He did have an arm guard as the Arcane Storm is terrifying, and the Akali will go down, but Jiu is dead once again. Rich will jump on top of Teddy to lock that one down as Willer gets into the pit, and Gideon's out. They are giving over the Dragon to DRX, and DRX will stay alive in this game. A 3 versus 3 here as the handshake goes wide. Absolutely pivotal there as Casting still wanting to take this fight, and back they will go, and Casting, oh, he gets healed up, but the Death Ray is going to be enough to help take him down. The handshake to say, nope, we don't want to die anymore, and we got to understand the bros will walk away.
Rich getting so much value in these fights on this Jax. The counter-strike just causing so much disruption in the backline. Teddy just can't do anything but watch him when he's popping this. You see he ends up coming in here, and Will is super low, so it's really hard for him to approach. Teddy gets disrupted here. We get Rich jumping on top of him. Teddy's super low. Zhonya's to buy time. Roma here ends up killing Jiwoo. But then on the bot side, Rich is chasing Gideon, but then jumps onto Teddy and just obliterates him.
Yeah.
And then Gideon is like, oh, I actually have to leave. I don't have teammates anymore. So Dragon gets secured. And then the fight should be over, but Bro ended up overstepping, losing. Okay, we're still fighting.
Why are we always coming out of... We're coming out of, like, replays into Gideon being caught at this exact spot.
Guys, what is a side lane?
I think it's the little alleyways on each side of the map. Oh, no, that was a rhetorical question, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Damn it, every time. All right, 2,000 gold is the approximate lead here for DRX. They have themselves 2 of these Mountain Dragons. But it's still soul point for the bros. There's still a chance they can make this one work as Teddy beginning to build those defensive items. Yeah, Jiu's also decided, I want some defensive choices as well. Will mean that his Lord Doms is a little bit later. And Rich was thinking about heading towards that top side, but Roma does just go back home.
Yeah, and Power Recall gets him out quickly. He was looking for a flank angle. I'm a little bit concerned about the fact that Rome is level 15, Yukal's level 17.
That is a large level discrepancy. And also, like, the experience bars are the same, so it's exactly 2 levels ahead. It's kind of ridiculous. Namgung, it's going to be difficult for him to join this fight, but Willer is also alone. Hostile takeover will connect onto Jiu once again, but he gets cleansed. Will be able to get himself out. Good McHale's there from Andil. And there it is! The unstoppable force gets into the backline. The layering of the counter-strike is so good as Andil, even able to survive for such a long time as Rich dives onto Teddy once again, but he's able to hop mad. Does have the bailout there, but it's not enough. And Roma this time, even with perfect execution, he cannot win the fight. Namgung and Roma, the last ones left standing, and DRX, I think I can hear it already. The Silver Scrapes is beginning to sound as DRX walk up the mid lane.
The power of the 5v5, the Malphite going in, catching Teddy, and he's trying to do his best to fight his way out of this situation, but there's just not enough that can be done.
Well, we'll see whether the Broma can do some absolute heroism here to save this game. The health bars aren't exactly the highest, but Jiu is at full health right now and has the Featherstorm available. I'm pretty sure this is just going to game 5 right here. Yukao going to go down. The bailout is not going to be enough. And Namgung, he is just going to be icing on the cake. Never mind, he'll survive, but the Nexus will not. And DRX will tie up the series.
Very back and forth. DRX managing to find those big team fight wins, putting the Malphite to work, and I think that might have been our first Malphite win.
Can you believe that that was the first Malphite win?
Yeah.
I still have the ulti wagon wheel in my brain.
Wow.
It is see it in there.
That was certainly a play, but they got it together. Yukal doing a crazy amount of damage, Rich getting a ton of value. And ultimately, I just think that was a bloodthirsty game. Bro, you saw how the composition could have worked in terms of playing through sides, but they were just trying to brawl with their comp